Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building. You saw that. Truth. One Set is the name of the record. I had to feature that video, man. I had to. The homie is doing his thing. Go get the album right now. CD baby. Look up Truth. Balls to the Wall album. BALLZ to the walls. All one word, balls to the wall. Right? He not playing. One Set. That's how we gotta be. Man, I'm so excited about this topic today. But you know what I gotta do before I even get to the topics. Let me run over to the homeboy real quick. Kevin, in the studio once again. Big Kev. How do they find you? How do they support your movement, brother?
Go ahead and cop that Booty Boxing 8-week home system. That's and it's free for you So What listeners. Just go to udemy.com, udemy.com/bootyboxing, and the free code is So What Show.
That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone line. This is incredible right now. On the phone, I have a sister. You know I like to introduce businesses, right? Black entrepreneurs. Y'all got to blow this woman up. She will take your business to the next level, as she is doing mine. Sister Wanda Trotter is on the phone right now. We have an amazing unveil to do right now. Wanda, you on the show with us right now?
I am here. Good morning.
Wanda, what have you done for me that everybody in the game who's doing business like I'm doing business need? You've provided me with something that real business people in the new millennium needs. This is the new business card. What have you done for me, Wanda?
She gonna hook up for me.
Well, I am so proud to launch the Zoe Williams mobile app.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
The mobile app? Say word.
Word.
What? There is a Zoe Williams app out here in these streets? Oh, my
Zoe
goodness.
Williams mobile app, absolutely. It's right now, has already been launched into the Google Play Store.
What?
And we're just waiting for Apple. They're making some new changes in their store, the way they distribute apps. So as soon as they're finished, then we'll have the iPhone, iPad, and everything will be global.
Boom.
Zoe Williams
Boom.
app. If you are a Google Play Android phone user, go get it right now. How do you get it? You just type in my name, Zoe. Oh, look at it. It's sitting right there. Pimp. You see the word, you see Zoe Williams is not, there's no space in between it. So that's how you have to look it up for all Google Play users. There's no space. So if you go in and type in Zoe space Williams, you won't find it. But if you type in Zoe Williams as one word, pow, it'll pop up. Download it right now. It is free. Let me tell you, can we tell them, Wanda, can they watch the show on this app?
Absolutely. They can stream. You can actually, there's a button where you can call in, make it very easy to call into
They
the
can
show.
call in from the app?
Right from the app. Absolutely. They can click the button at any time, and they will also receive notifications. So in case people get busy and they're going about their day, you'll get a notification, and it's time to tune in to the Zoe Williams show.
This
So
sister did this. She designed this whole thing.
I will be calling her.
Where do they find you? How do they get you? Mindblowingapps.com. Is that the website?
Mind-blowing mobile. Mindblowingmobile.com.
Mindblowingmobile.com. This sister Wanda Trotter is no joke in this field. She put together a fully functional app for Zoe Williams. You guys need to support her movement right now. This is a call to action. If you're a small business and you want to do major global work, you know you need an app. You know you need an app.
Mind-blowing mobile?
Mindblowingmobile.com is the website, Wanda?
Yes, Mind-blowing mobile.
Mind-blowing mobile. That's who you want to get with. She can have you up and I'm telling you, she did this for me in less than 2 weeks, basically.
What?
Man, she that good.
Can she get rid of apps?
Oh, Bobby old.
Old school Bobby.
God damn it, I got too many apps. I ain't using none of these damn things. Shit popping up without my permission.
Oh my God.
Nah, hey, but she's professional. She's on time. You provide her all the information, and she'll get it done. The turnaround is quick, very professional. It's cold-blooded the way she did this for the brother.
Can you get rid of apps?
Yeah, she can get rid of apps.
Nah,
Bobby.
get out of here, Bobby.
What kind of app? What kind of app do you want to get rid of?
About 90% of the
Yeah,
ones on
he Bobby old school.
Bobby old school. Yeah.
You know.
I ain't using none of these. What is this fox on here? The red fox. So, again, Mind Blowing Mobile is the website.
Yes,
Wanda?
mindblowingmobile.com.
Yeah, I got it
Listen.
right. I got it on.
All right, there you go. And
Can
don't,
I just give a little explanation about mind blowing? The reason why we called our website Mind Blowing,
sure.
because what a lot of people don't realize is that mobile is the wave of the future, and this industry is growing faster than any other industry since the existence of mankind, since the existence of the human race. If you remember back in the day, they had the Industrial Revolution where everything was growing quickly. Well, this is 10 times as quick. And as people, there used to be a time when the websites were introduced into the business industry. Well, now it's going to be an app.
Wow.
So just to say, people don't take you seriously if you don't have a website. In the future, it's going to be a
you don't
mobile
have an app. Yeah.
You're not going to be taken seriously because everybody is going mobile. There's one thing that people can't live without today, and that is their mobile device.
Yep.
People are working with their mobile device. It's the new computer, the new assistant, the new brain. It's the new mobile office.
There it is.
And so,
And the app is the new website, really.
Yep, that's it. It is.
People don't understand that.
absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. And it's interactive. There's a lot more you can do with the mobile app compared to the mobile site.
There it is. Hey, Wanda, we appreciate you for reaching out. Hey, call to action. Go support the sister. Get to her website right now. We appreciate you, Wanda. We'll have you back on in a couple of shows just to check in and re-promote, because this is big business. We got to get down with this. Thank you so much for doing my app. Go to the Google Play Store right now. Get your app. Now I got to continue promoting other businesses. You know who's in the building.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you more than welcome, sister. You know who's in the building right now. Real Men Don't Play. Bobby Glanton-Smith. Y'all got to get his book. Go to Amazon.com right now. Order it right now. Get the brother's book, one of the most powerful books written. It's a manual on manhood, written by a bunch of men and put together by one of my good friends, Bobby Glanton. What do you got to say really quickly, bro?
Real quickly, Sam, the face of boxing, Watson has a fight card tomorrow night on Fox Sports 1, Premier Boxing Champions. And the fighter that I want y'all to watch tomorrow night, his name is Julius the Chef Jackson. He's the son of Hall of Fame boxer Julian the Hawk Jackson. So do your spirit a favor and me a favor and watch this young brother get down tomorrow night on Fox Sports 1, 6 p.m. East Pacific Standard Time.
There we go. Listen, we've had web issues. Fucking Mercury retrograde killed us. The website is back up. Only 225 copies remaining. I'm urging you guys to get the book now. I'm not going to reprint anymore. Go to IamZoeWilliams.com. The website is back up. It is fully functional. Go to my website right now. Get your copy of The Relationship Dismount right now. Only out of the original thousands we printed up, only 225 copies are remaining. Go to IamZoeWilliams.com right now. If you order today, I will mail out your shipment tomorrow. Listen, I'm ready to move on to the next platform. This book is almost sold out completely. When that happens, you're only going to be able to get it on Amazon.com, the digital version. Go get it now. Only 225 copies left. Let's move on it right now. Really quickly, businesses. Arise Hospitality, the Black Staples. AriseHospitality.com. Go there right now. If you're a small business and you're doing anything that requires staplers, chairs, office furniture, printers, ink, they got it. So go support them. EasyBoyWeb.com. These are the brothers who put together my website. If you can go to my website right now, ZoeWilliams.com. If you see ZoeWilliams.com, brothers did it. They're out of Atlanta. EasyBoyWeb.com. Panache Ganache. Sister is the black female cake boss out of Chicago. Yeah, Geoff Brown's sister-in-law. Y'all go support this sister, man.
That's Geoff Brown's sister-in-law?
That's Geoff Brown's sister-in-law, man.
What?
Panache Ganache, man. She's for real about it. Damn. We Juice. The brother is here every week. He provides us with fresh juices, healthy juices. Please support this brother, WeJuice.com. Also, the big homie, Corey Holcomb, 5150 Gear. The brother done put together a whole line of gear, man. T-shirts, sweatshirts, jerseys, clothes for sisters, clothes for brothers. It's crazy right now. Go support 5150. Listen, Freedom Paper. You bet not wipe your ass with paper from anybody else. This is a black-owned company that has provided us with some toilet paper and all types of toiletries. Please support this brother. FreedomPaper.com. One other one. Elephant. Their website is back up. Brand new website. Man, if you like Polo, if you like J. Crew, if you like Banana Republic, go get it. Elephant. LFANT. It's an acronym for Live Free Above Negative Thinking. Bam. Y'all gotta support these brothers out here doing this high quality shit, man. New website. You're going to get a discount because Zoe Williams is cool with these boys. They're going to give you a 20-30% off. Go hook up with Elephant at elephantnyc.com. Oh, by the way, you got to get with Veronica Conway. Boom. Especially after today's show. VeronicaConway.com. You had to get her Black Mastery program, a neuro-linguistic program that rewrites negative black trauma from a psychological level in a deep subconscious space. She created it. It's narrated by Iyanla Vanzant. This shit is crazy. Oh, that's it. Y'all got to get with Veronica Conway today.
Right now.
Right now. Listen, I got to go. But when I come back, topics, only 225 copies remaining. Call to action. Go get it. If you get it now, it'll be mailed out tomorrow morning. I'm going to holler at y'all in a second when we come back. The show begins.
The dominance of the color blue is very misleading. While water covers approximately 70% of the Earth's surface, almost 97.5% of it is salt water. That leaves 2.5% fresh water, most of which is locked away in glaciers, icebergs, and snow. What's left is found in either surface water, our ponds, lakes, and rivers, or in aquifers, formations of groundwater sunk deep below our feet. The sum total of all of these available freshwater sources is a little less than 1%. 1% of Earth's water for all of humankind. 1%. With such a limited amount available, it is cause for alarm that even our coastal waters are showing evidence of humans' toxic lifestyles. As water flows from the mountaintop to the sea, it carries evidence of humankind's collective irresponsibility. Some of this pollution comes from human waste, some from agricultural waste, and some from industrial waste. Together, they are choking our rivers and contaminating our groundwater. Painfully, we are learning that the penalty for polluting our water is severe.
So, with that video, we're set up properly for today's topic, and it's an important topic. Planet thirsty. Living on a thirsty planet. A riveting look at the relentless advance of global water poverty / water scarcity. Let's just get right down to it. China has less water than we do and far more people. But also, They're our greatest debtor, right? We owe them the most creditor. They're our greatest creditor. We owe them
the most money
out of anybody, right? Could they call in their money, not in money, but in water? Because we got more water than China has. More natural water than China. Could water become the new currency? Why is this important? Why are we having this conversation? Everything we do here is tied to the condition of black folk. Geoff Brown always says, if America is thirsty, what kind of thirst are black people experiencing?
Niggas is dry bones.
Niggas is dry, dusty bones. If America is a little parched, I'm parched, right? So I always call this stuff into question. There is a serious water drought going on here in Southern California, but a lot of times people feel like it ain't happening to us. I can still go to my faucet and turn on water. They don't understand the severity of what's happening in the world. Now, as it pertains to black people, what's the contingency plan that relates to us?
We're going to make up a new dam.
No, we have a plan. The plan is to plan another meeting.
Right?
There you go.
Let's march. How many March?
But you know, it's interesting and ironic that you mentioned the water shortage here, the drought here. They're flooding in the east right now.
Yeah.
Guess what they have a shortage of? With all of the water falling out of the sky right now, they've got a water shortage.
In the east.
Because you can't control all of that water, first of all.
Collect it.
And it's contaminating other water sources that are already polluted.
Right.
They're getting ready to shut down 3 hospitals because they don't have any water.
Now, here's the problem. It's what we are using our scientists and minds on, which is going to places, other places that have no water, the moon, Mars. How about taking some, I should save this for the rant. How about taking some of these NASA minds and figuring out how to collect rainwater and how to turn what we are 3/4 covered with into drinking water?
It's illegal.
They already know how to do that.
In most states, it's illegal to collect rainwater.
Why is it illegal?
Because they have air rights, and then whatever falls from the air.
Wait. Hold on.
White folks don't air.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck is an air right? Please explain that.
You can buy rights to certain spaces of air. So, like for certain miles, you can buy air rights. This is going on mostly in a lot of other countries, third world countries, but they're starting to put it over here. But so when the water falls, that water belongs to somebody else because they have the air rights, and so they can come and collect it. Now, most people still collect the water in other countries, but the right is that if the person who owns the air rights can come in and snatch that water up. Now, the government is doing some of the same stuff over here. It's illegal for you to collect rainwater. Now, you can do it. Now, but then they can knock on your door and snatch your whole shit up.
It's a bigger problem. The water ends up going beneath the ground into the water table. And a lot of people in places where they're fracking now have found out
contaminants.
That now the problem is they own the house. They don't own the rights beneath the ground. So they're able to contaminate well waters and still not be held liable for it, because they didn't own the rights to the water beneath their own homes.
Wow. Veronica Conway, Ronnie Con.
Yeah.
Hey.
What?
Yes,
Listen.
sir. Hey.
What's up, baby girl? Every time I do a show like this, it gets a lot of views, but not as many as if I would have, say, Lunel on here cussing us out about how niggas ain't shit. Right?
Yeah.
This is some serious
the most
stuff.
important
This
stuff.
is, listen.
The most important. You can't live without water.
Dude.
You ain't gonna miss the water to the what?
To the well run dry, right? Veronica, as it relates to the African American community, which is, in my opinion, leaderless. Like,
we got one.
What happens though? Like, what happens if something was to happen and we get caught off guard, i.e. Katrina? What if the next Katrina puts us in a position like that again? Are we going to be doing what we were doing when Katrina happened? We all turned and faced FEMA, and the government. Help!
Yep.
What are we going to do?
Right. Well, I think that one of the great challenges that we have in our community is a complete lack of long-term vision, both individually and collectively.
Wow.
So because we're leaderless and we don't have people speaking vision into us and we don't speak vision into each other, we tend to focus on, well, what's my survival going to be tomorrow or next week or, at the most, 5 months from now. So we operate that way very much at our own deep risk because, the biggest battle on this planet is for resources. Kevin was talking about land as a resource last week. We're talking about water as a resource this week. And we are so caught up in our consumerism, quite frankly, in our day-to-day survival, that we don't have any long-term plan about how to be very strategic around essential resources that will ensure our survival.
That's
because
right.
we're too focused on some basketball wives or some football or some other shit
Right.
That's
that
right.
really
Right.
don't matter.
Right. You know how many
And so
memes?
shame on us. Shame on us.
What you mean there's a water shortage? You can just go down to Ralph's and buy
Buy some glacier water.
Right.
water.
You can go and get. You done pissed Bobby off. Show your water, Bobby. Tell us about Kagan water. You done mince glacier water in front of Bobby.
If it can't clean salt water, it ain't gonna matter in about 10 years now, is it?
Most of the water shortage though is because of people who eat beef and pork because the cattle have to drink all this water.
It's not only
You know,
just cattle.
Right.
It's
farm-
also agriculture.
agriculture. Yeah.
Fat people.
But they when they did the study, the cows as well as they causing most of the
Greenhouse gas.
greenhouse gases, drinking
the
up
farting.
all the water. And then in California though, you have the reason we're losing so much water. You got most of the bottled water industries are in California, and they're sucking up all the water from over here. So like even if you got like almond milk, one almond takes a gallon of water to make one almond.
Wow.
So if you got a box of almond, you got a little box of almond milk. Just how much water is in that little box of almond milk?
Wow.
The elephant in the room is fracking, though, because they use tremendous amounts of water.
Yes.
To cut through.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Tremendous amount.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my whole question now is we have to reevaluate what it means to live inside America without a plan. See, black people don't live like Veronica said, long range vision.
Mm-hmm.
We live right now. Right? We live for right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun right now. I'm gonna make some bread. I'm gonna get some pussy. I'm gonna go to the crib.
That's all
I'm
gonna
gonna eat.
happen. Yep.
You know,
That is the true definition of a nigga.
right.
An individual who only thinks about himself and only thinks about himself right now. He
Right.
doesn't think about himself like, nigga, them Jordans, nigga, shit.
But this is what gets me pissed off. Chris, young kid
You pissed him off, Chris.
from Philadelphia, comes and gets at me and says, "Oh man, I'm a fan of the show. How can I help? This is what I do." Oh shit, graphics? Okay, let me help you. Chris does his graphics for me. I put him on. Next thing you know, he meets Corey Holcomb through me. Boom, Corey Holcomb puts him on. Now the dude is grinding, got a name for himself, right? Networking, connecting the dots with each other, right? I think George Fraser talked about that web of connecting dots, right?
Right.
Veronica touched on it earlier. We got so many self-centered, narcissistic, egotistical, maniacal motherfuckers within our community who are just looking out for themselves that will fucking give you a hug for helping them on one end and then slap the shit out of you and betray you on the next end because they got a better situation. We, as a people, got to look at the overall arcing issue. When we see preppers on TV, most of them motherfuckers is white.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
they ready.
When you look at them white patriots like Ted Nugent got animals. He out here archering and knives and guns, and I'm ready for some shit to happen because I'm going to be bunkered down and I'm going to be able to weather it. Black people are not weathering anything. The only thing we weather is whatever challenge it is to get rich. That's what hustling is.
Well,
Go ahead.
It's almost unfair to just judge us by what white people do, because white people are preparing for an apocalypse when we're living through one. We're living socially.
No. Let's just say it another way. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
You say we're living through. I would go as far as to say we're sleeping through one.
Wow. Yes.
Because if we were living through one, at least we would be conscious and cognizant of what the fuck is actually going on.
Or weathering it poorly. We are weathering it poorly. We are out in the wilderness with a goddamn wife beater on. We are
keeping it real in the wilderness. Food, right. Yeah. We're about to bang on a bison. What up, bison?
What's that you from?
Right. Fuckers.
Can you speak to the prepper thing?
Hey, listen, we got to take a quick break. But then we'll come back and let you chop that up, okay?
There are over 2 billion people in the world who don't have access to sanitation. But actually, it wasn't really till I stood here that I understood what that means. What we've got here is a toilet for 71,000 people. These are plastic bags that are full of human excrement. People just dump them here because they have no alternative. When it rains, this whole hillside of human excrement and plastic bags floods, come straight down this hill into this residential area down here. And even worse than that, what you've got here is the main water pipe, which is serving the whole slum. This water pipe is completely covered with human excrement. In some places it's leaking, so you've got excrement actually leaching into the water supply. You see an example of this problem right here. This is a feeder pipe. This water that's full of human excrement, and it's being sucked into this pipe right here where you can see it leaking. Now this is basically going to carry human excrement right into the water that somebody drinks down this lane here. And that really helps to explain why you've got such high death rates in this slum.
How do we think about something as local as our faucets and as global as fresh water? Is there a connection between them? Many people assume that fresh water shortages are due to individual wastefulness. Running the water while you brush your teeth, for example, or taking really long showers. Most of us assume, therefore, that water shortages can be fixed by improving our personal habits, taking shorter showers, or turning off the water while we brush our teeth. But global freshwater scarcity neither starts nor ends in your shower. Globally, domestic use of fresh water accounts for only 8% of consumption. 8%! Compare that to the 70% that goes to agriculture and the 22% that goes to industrial uses. Now, hold up. You're not off the hook. Individual habits are still part of the puzzle. You should still cultivate water virtue in your daily life. Turn off the tap when you brush your teeth. But still, it's true. Taking shorter showers won't solve global problems, which is too bad. It would be much more straightforward and easier if virtuous individual actions could do the trick.
And California right now is up there. It's probably third or fourth highest in the world. As our reservoirs are drained, which they will be over the course of the year, assuming that it doesn't rain much, then we'll be relying almost 100% on groundwater. My expectation is that we are going to see tremendous groundwater losses this year. With groundwater depletion comes an increase in the frequency of smaller earthquakes, and that seems to be following the pattern of groundwater pumping. Other things that are happening with the groundwater depletion is actually depletion of the streams. So we see that our streams are drying up. We see that, of course, we see that all over Southern California. But the subsidence, the sinking of the land surface, is another big problem. It's not unlike letting the air out of a bicycle tire. You let the air out, right, the tire deflates. Pull the water out of the ground deflates. And that's happening in big swaths of the San Joaquin Valley. In some places, at rates that are as great as a foot per year.
It's going down.
The new Jordans don't seem that important now, does it?
No, nigga, they still do. They don't sell.
I'm just saying, Basketball Wives L.A. don't seem that important now, does it? If you do not have control over resources, you are not wealthy.
at all.
That's the key. If you don't have control over resources, you're not wealthy. By definition, tell me I'm wrong. If you are governed and the resources are doled out to you incrementally, you're a slave.
And that's the whole
by
purpose.
definition.
That's the whole purpose. Most of this is under Agenda 21.
Oh, speak on that.
Agenda 21 is a UN plan. Basically, they're trying to secure the population. So they're trying to, doing population control. So if they try to control the water, which is they're trying to privatize the water. Mm-hmm. So if they privatize the water, and they're saying, oh, this will help most countries or third world countries like that, or that are in water debt, but it's not. Actually, when they privatize the water, they go to these little countries, push up the money on the water, and then all these farmers and these little people they can't farm anymore. So what they're trying to do is move everybody towards the cities so they can take the land. The reason they're doing that is because if you have land with resources, then you don't need them. Then you can. This is a way for you to be sovereign.
Mm. Bobby.
I think we have to look at solutions to the water crisis from an entrepreneurial perspective. Every problem turns into a business opportunity.
Woo!
And the key thing now is to look at the landscape, literally, and figure out how to monetize the various expertises that are available within the diaspora, or whatever you want to call it, and figure out ways to begin to capture resources by utilizing bright-minded people who already have methodologies that will capitalize on these emerging opportunities vis-a-vis the water crisis.
And that's good shit.
I would like to see the faces of the white people that secretly monitor this show to make sure that we don't go too far and send killers after us. Just to see what they say, to see how they feel when they hear the $50 words that come out of Uncle Bobby's mouth. They are probably going, where is this nigga from?
Vis-a-vis.
He got great. We don't have no niggas that say vis-a-vis that's not on our side.
I'm more worried about Nook and Ray Ray. Baby
Nook and Ray Ray?
Yeah,
What's
I'm
wrong
more
with
worried about them, man.
No, this has to be the new agenda, though. Listen, I have to say this. In San Francisco, there's a Chinatown.
Go there.
In New York, there's a Chinatown. In Los Angeles, there's a Chinatown.
Booming.
Now, we could just break this down. In New York, there's a Jaime Town. That's what Jesse Jackson called it famously back in the day, right?
Ain't heard from him since.
Right. The Jews have power.
Yeah. Well,
the Chinese people have power because they have resources. Again, if your town is Nickerson Garden, Nigga Town, right? And Nigga Town is just a project, and the project doesn't control or manage any resources. Do you remember them signs motherfuckers had when they was standing on top of the roof when Katrina flooded out New Orleans?
Yes, yes.
That's how black people respond to natural disasters. You gotta have resources, man. Them white people didn't have to worry about it in the French Quarter, now did they?
No, they didn't.
About 20 years ago, there was a brother here in Los Angeles that had perfected a process of taking salt water and converting it into
desalinization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Problem was, and I went to some meetings that he got up and talked about, look, if I can get X number of millions of dollars, I can, perfect this and deal with it from the standpoint of an economic opportunity. And everybody in the room kind of looked at him like he was from Mars. And I reflect back down on that as I fast forward to now. If he was able to do that 20 years ago, the technology is already available.
They do. A lot of countries do it already. Available. A lot of countries already do it.
And we're not even having that discussion because, again, we don't know who to follow and what practices to replicate. And we have to break that cycle of being the last ones to figure out which way the trends are going and then be able to capture those opportunities and turn them into ways to not only sustain ourselves environmentally, but economically.
But desalinization, desalinization though, eventually could do more harm than good if you try to desalt all the water around the world. So this is one of the main reasons a lot of eco people won't push through it. But the thing is, there's two things. There's one called primary water and secondary water. Most of the water in the earth is created in the earth, and it's called primary water. It's through the heat pressure through the earth. It creates, when it's pushing hydrogen and oxygen together, this forces a vapor up through the fissures of the earth. When the vapor cools, it turns into water. So this is where you get most of the groundwater around the world. Now, the reason what they're doing is they're trying to make you think that there's only secondary water, which is water we get from the rain and snow and all the rest of that stuff. And so they're trying to make you think, oh, that's drying up, while they're buying up the land. Like the Bushes, they just went and bought major parts of Paraguay that have water underground. And then the Paraguay government got pissed about this. And all the people got pissed, saying, oh, they're trying to take all our resources, but they still got it. But this is what they're doing. So they're trying to tell us, oh, there's no more water, while they're buying up all the primary water underground. Wow. This is the major scam. That's
Wow. Veronica Conway, jump in here. You got something to say about the entrepreneurial side of the game? Preppers?
Well, yeah, if we're talking about entrepreneurship and we're talking about the prepper thing, I mean, I attended a really advanced internet marketing conference a while back. And the guy that was presenting, he owns about 80% of the prepper market, right? So the prepper market of guys that buy the ammo and they're big Second Amendment rights people, and they're prepping for doomsday. And he owns 80% of that market. And so he was demonstrating live, like the marketing that he does to them. And so he was saying that if he wants to sell a bunch of stuff, this is how conditioned their brains are. If he wants to sell a bunch of shit, he'll either post a headline about Obama, and he'll sell more shit, or he'll post a headline about they're going to take your guns, and he'll sell more shit. But if he posts something about Obama taking your guns, his sales go through the roof. Wow. So what we have to understand is the preppers are not only racist, but they're conditioned like Pavlovian dogs.
Like that dude Cliven in Arizona.
Black people on stage.
Wow. You know what? She banging. I noticed this. Listen, you know how in the news, CNN, the new catchword for nigga is thug. When I watch these prepper shows, because I watch them.
Oh, yeah, me too.
When society breaks down, and then all the crazy people out there, they're going to try to come take your shit.
Yep, and they talking about niggas.
They talking about niggas.
They talking about niggas.
Because sadly, they're right.
Because they're talking about people who are unaware of why you should prep.
Yep. And niggas will raid their land for water.
Niggas will mirage.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair.
I mean everybody. I mean everybody, dude.
Absolutely, that is not fair.
Yeah. But tell me a little gang of Suge Knights won't roll up on a farm.
Of course. Of course they will. But the little gang of Suge Knights did not have the infrastructure choice. The white folks that are goobers, that are unprepared, have some type of infrastructure choice and cannot be made targets upon sight. Okay? If I'm a goober-ass Kentucky motherfucker that has not prepared at all, but I can hunt a little bit and I got a family, the preppers, they may treat me like shit, but they'll be more inclined to take me in than some nigga running in a brand new pair of Jordans. I'm gonna tell you that's just what's up.
Bobby.
It comes back to the propaganda, to the proper goose.
Oh, here we go. That's
propaganda to the proper goose. Speak on it, brother.
Because we have to really understand where we are and how to get out of this conditioning that always has us falling back to a defeatist and victim position.
Say it. Speak it.
And I simply mean that we have the capacity, the capability, the expertise in every field of endeavor the world has ever known. And for whatever reasons, we follow everybody except the people who know what they're doing. We're the only folks that I know of that do that, man. Preachers, we'll follow them. We'll follow a charismatic person. But somebody that know what they're doing, Man, we look at them like they stupid.
Get your square ass out of here. You're lame.
Hell yeah.
Right.
The best way to be the best way in the hood to get respect is to come home from prison. The best way to get disrespected in the hood is to come home from college.
That shit got to stop, man. It's got to, and it's
Damn.
got to be a concerted. We have to bombard people with information.
Just because you read books, nigga, don't mean you smarter than me, nigga.
Still whoop your motherfucking.
We have to bombard our people with information that changes their lives and put money in their pockets. That's the only thing.
Let me tell you, this is a way that you can beat the water thing. There's something called atmospheric water generators. And so you can get that, and you don't need any water. It pulls water from the air. It cools water down or makes vapor, and then it lets it drip within there, and then runs it through about 4 filters, and then you pushes out water, pure, clean, alkaline water. But also, if you get that plus
a
solar generator, you don't need any water.
That's next.
Solar generator and an atmospheric water generator.
Okay, but how much? Okay.
An atmospheric water generator runs anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500.
No, my question is, how much water can it generate? Enough for me to wash my car, or just enough for me to have?
Well, it depends on what size you get. There's major ones that you can get for land, and then these are the ones you can get for your house. They produce water. It's constantly all through the hour. I mean, it never runs out of water. They have them in some gyms, actually.
Right. And you hook it up to the solar generator.
Boom. And you go good to go.
There we go. Listen.
You're on the porch sipping ice water watching niggas go to hell. It's crazy shit out there. That you niggas is thirsty.
That's real shit, though.
As long as the sun come up.
It's real shit.
Listen, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back at 2.2 to finish this Thirsty Planet discussion.
Wow. It has been a while, family. Thank you so much for letting me back to my seat. I've been working hard for the family. Some other shit I'm going to share with you in maybe 6 months or so that is really big. But at any rate, I wanted to do this one, and I'm going to start doing them as just sayings, just sentences. I'm going to start with a couple. One, the only resource black people have is resourcefulness. When you find yourself in that position, understand that you're not going to get rid of us all. We ain't going to all die, but a bunch of us are gonna. A bunch of us. And I think the concept that we as a people, those of us who are conscious, lose is you trying to save niggas that don't want to be saved. They don't want to be saved. Being saved is, they think when they go to church and get saved that that's it, they're saved. That Jesus is going to come back and snatch them out in the middle of this shit, and that the rest of us are going to have to deal with it. So they're saved already in their heads. Stop wasting your time on niggas that don't want to be saved. I think the Ronnie Kahns of the world, and the Dr. Phil Valentines of the world, and the Dr. Umars of the world, and what's my man, Dr. Claude Andersons, and the Zoe Williams of the world. I'm gonna throw myself in there. We need to get together and batten down the hatches, and sadly enough, let them uninformed niggas die. Somebody gonna die. I think it's gonna be a bunch of them. And the concept of trying to save everybody is moot. If the 14% of America's population, which is us, was all conscious, we would still have heavy casualties when this shit goes down. The only thing that is going to save this earth, which I really believe is underway, is the artificial formulation of a zombie apocalypse. Follow me now. If 75 to 80% to even 85% of the Earth's population just turns on each other and eats each other, and the other 15% are underground and prepared, there isn't a water shortage anymore, now is it? Geoff Brown, just now. I'm done.
Damn. This Jeff is crazy.
Okay.
But I love it.
Okay. Somebody
no.
thought of that. Somebody thought of that.
But wait, Jeff, I mean crazy as a fox.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I don't mean crazy like don't know what the fuck you talking about crazy. I mean crazy as a fox. Listen, because this is going on in the world right now. What is it? South Carolina is flooding. Historic floods, right? That's what I'm hearing, right? So if you're there and you're listening to the show, here's some quick tips, right? Drive only when it's necessary, because you see a lot of fools out there trying to drive in a flood.
Not black fools.
And getting swept away. Drive only when it's necessary. Debris and flood waters may cover the roads, making it impossible to pass or impassable. Stay on firm ground. Moving water only 6 inches deep can sweep you off your feet, off your ass, as black people would say. Standing water may be electrically charged from downed power lines.
That's right.
Beware of snakes, insects, and other animals driven to higher ground. They going to higher ground like you are. Enter your home with extreme caution. Beware of fallen objects or damaged roofs and walls. Use flashlights for lights. Do not use matches, torches, candles, or other types of flames. Check the gas. You know, we go through that here in Southern California with the earthquakes. That's the first thing everybody checked. Right. As a matter of fact, now they have that little device where if the shaking happens, there's an automatic kill switch out here.
Right.
For when an earthquake happens, it automatically kills the gas right there.
From the said street.
Right. So make sure you check all of that. Do not drink or prepare food with tap water until you're certain it's uncontaminated. What is it?
Contaminated.
Contaminated,
Yeah.
not uncontaminated. But you got to make sure it's not contaminated. If your home was flooded, flush plumbing fixtures with water. Have health authorities inspect your sanitary disposal system. Do not eat food that came in contact with floodwaters.
Yep.
Why? Because sewage,
diseased up,
all that mix in when it floods, when it overfloods. You know, it's a lot of stuff you got to be prepared for.
Be drinking some Dookie soup.
And
Bobby,
if you don't have any local construction association, give me a call or send me an email at bobby@realmendon'tplay.com, because there's going to be also landmark historic rebuilding of South Carolina. A lot of money is going to flow in there to recover what was the city of Columbia and other places that have been hard hit down there. And historically, we haven't participated in that massive amount of money that's going to pour into there. So now's the time to start looking at aligning companies with opportunities. And if you're not big enough, I know some folks that can step up to the plate and put us in the mix from the standpoint of reconstructing South Carolina.
Wow. Veronica, speak to this in the context of education, please.
Yeah, I think that we have to understand that there are certain paths to education in this day and age. Not all college education is relevant in the 21st century.
Thank you. Thank you, Veronica.
The path of education, though, that you have to have a skill set that's relevant to the world's problems.
Yes.
And I think we become expendable when we don't do the heavy lifting of, say, joining the STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Right.
That's where the heading is STEM. But if we don't not only need it there, but take it there, then we become expendable because we're not educating ourselves in a way that can be solutions to the world's problems. And
listen,
STEM
listen.
the sort of field is that.
Veronica, we live in a culture where a pretty girl can become a bartender, start an Instagram page, put a couple of fish-netted ass pics, right, on Instagram, snag a basketball player, and then subsequently have a baby and get a TV show. We live in this kind of culture.
That was the plan. That's
a plan.
That's the plan.
That's a fucking plan of action for a lot of people.
Works.
Right. The inverse of that is the African American male can sell drugs, learn how to rap while selling drugs, hook up with a dude who make beats, drop a single, sell 1 million copies, become a role model for how to pull yourself up from the streets.
For how many people?
But do you understand what I'm saying?
All of them.
I'm just saying the way the African American
make a living doing that.
But no, what I'm saying is that's the image. I'm not saying that's the only way, and I'm not saying that's the best way. But I'm saying that's the most aggrandized and featured way.
But that's why we need to drop the mic on that right now, and again feature people that you have a higher probability of being able to take care of your family. Because I'm walking by construction sites every day, and I see everybody except my people. And these construction sites, they're not paying McDonald's wages.
They're paying $60 an hour.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Dude,
Free is love.
The thing about this, though, it goes back to what we were talking about last week, and that's community coming together. You have to start acquiring land. That's where the resources are. When you get the land, especially if you're indigenous to the land, there are many ways for you to lock up the rights to the land. But you have to acquire the land first.
Kev,
Now,
we're
you gotta
asking.
acquire some money first
We're
to
asking.
get the land.
But people,
I'm with you on
black
that.
people have the money, just need to get together and buy. Yes, they do. Man, we spend over $1 trillion a year.
People not working, man. We got to go to work.
But we spend over $1 trillion a year, man. We just need to put that in. We need to put that in the right place.
Do you realize that it is possible to agree with both of you?
Yes.
Yeah, they're both saying good shit.
Because I agree with the acquisition of land, but we had to put the focus on putting people to work first. They got to go to work because we got too many people that are feeding off of each other in a very negative, predatory kind
But that's why I was going to say the concept of coming together to purchase land is like our community spiritually, collectively, are like kindergartners. The concept of land acquisition on a collective level is like postgraduate lessons at college.
Wow. Thank you.
I get that, but
so we got to speed that learning curve up.
I don't think we have time for that. I think what you need to do is collect the postgraduates.
Oh yeah.
Collect the postgraduates, okay?
And beat their ass into cooperation.
There are going on the same bus are postgraduates and those who are writing their name on the window of the bus with boogers. Okay? You cannot. You got to let them write. Let them stupid motherfuckers write.
Wow. Let them write.
You cannot. You are wasting time.
Let them write.
Trying to. The spaceship is crashing.
I
Stop
agree.
trying to teach the dudes down in the boiler room how to fly. Get the pilots together.
We not looking for them. We looking for the ones who know. I mean, it don't need to be that many, but you can get them on the right track and set an example. But it's not that hard to acquire property. It really isn't. You can create a little business from LegalZoom for $100, $150, and then get with your people and just start collecting money.
So listen, I got to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to come with Veronica because she has something to chime in, or I can hear her. We'll be back at 2.2 So What? Thirsty Planet.
If you are to significantly restrict water for agriculture, doesn't that ultimately literally dry up the farming in the state of California?
Not necessarily, because we're talking about corporate ag. The biggest abusers of water in California are really growing a few select lucrative cash crops like almonds and pistachios, and they're growing these crops in the western San Joaquin Valley. I'm talking about Paramount Farms and the Resniks. They're growing these almonds and pistachios, and so if we need to restrict and manage our groundwater supplies even better, we can't allow to continue growing food, especially these crops that are being shipped overseas, when there are millions of Californians right now that don't have access to clean drinking water, and these corporate ag interests are really abusing that system that, you know, we don't have any restrictions on groundwater in place. And so we would like to see groundwater be put into the public trust. Right now it's being managed as a private asset, and that's why they can abuse where they're allocating this groundwater. And we'd also like to see a mandatory moratorium on the use of our precious groundwater resources on these cash crops, especially when they're in arid and toxic soils.
Activity. In 2002, this is a while back ago, the subsidy was worth about $416 million a year. And that's really quite astounding. And not only do they get subsidies in water, they get subsidies from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So about 1/3 of federal irrigation water in the CVP went to crops that received USDA subsidies, about $90 million. A year they mostly go to cotton and rice farmers. Now rice, kind of have to have it underwater for a while. Not the best crop for a desert if you don't have the fire hose of illicit government spending. So we've got water subsidies, we've got subsidies for buying crops, and we also have electricity subsidies. The CVP uses these massive pumps requiring huge amounts of electricity to push water through about 1,400 miles of canals, which I think is similar to farming on Mars, and they undercharge the farmers for the costs of the electricity to the tune of about $100 million subsidy. Now, of course, like most subsidies, it's the politically connected and the big companies that do really well. The largest 10% of farms in the CVP, is about 700 farms, get about 2/3 of the project's entire water supply. And as of 2002, so more than a decade ago, these got average subsidies of $349,000 directly. So this is, again, it's the usual corporate welfare for
$1 billion to build. French companies are now said to be showing interest in privatization of Libya's public water system. After the U.S. invaded Iraq, it secured one of its largest corporations, Brechtel, with a contract to repair the country's water supply. The same Brechtel had been forced out of Bolivia after fierce public protests broke out over its price hikes for water. The company went into the country thanks to the World Bank. The organization said it would only give Bolivia development aid if the public water system was privatized. Similar conditions are forced on many other countries seeking help.
The trend toward privatization of water is a difficult one and a very controversial one, and is likely to provoke more tensions around the world if it continues.
According to the Center for Public Integrity, Western nations tend to make up to $1 trillion from privatizing, purifying, and distributing water in the Middle East and North Africa, where water often costs more than oil.
Water costing more than oil. Yes. What you fail to realize is water is the #1 currency on planet Earth.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mad Max.
Should be.
And Mad Max. In third world, listen, this is what people... That world war could come about because of water. Mm-hmm. Just understand, we live in Southern California. Where would we get most of our water? Colorado River. It gets diverted from the Colorado River, brought over here. Now, the Colorado River is not some infinite source of water.
That's right.
And there's a lot of cities that water passes through aqueducts that get bypassed so it can get here to L.A. There's a few cities where you don't get this. This water is allocated for Los Angeles.
So, wait a second.
Oh, Travis Bickle.
How are you, man? I had a few simple questions. Now, if we're trying to get rid of a bunch of the population, and a bunch of states gets their water from the Colorado River, why don't I just go up to Colorado, take a shit in the river? That's just a thought. I'm just figuring, you talk about the contaminating the water supply with feces. Well, somebody took a shit in the Colorado River. We need to protect the Colorado River from getting shit in. I think that's...
Well, no, Travis Bickle speaks on something that has been a concern for a lot of people, and that is the water in America, which is more, it's more than China, right? Mm-hmm. It's way more than China, even though we don't have nowhere near the population of China. A lot of people have speculated this since 9/11 that our water supply is poorly protected against terrorist attacks.
That's right.
Right? So when we start factoring in all of this, all I can do is come back to where we live, my community, our people. And when I see our people, I always see it in juxtaposition of the dominant society. They're prepared, we're not. They have contingency plans, we don't.
We do not.
They don't like each other, but they coalesce around emergencies. Yep. We're gang members. And when I say we're gang members, I don't just mean Bloods and Crips.
Nope.
Christians are gang members too.
Yes.
Who
state workers. State workers.
Right.
You know how many black people love telling other black people no? Have you ever seen that shit?
Right.
Have you ever been to the I hate this shit. I used to, and thank you, Lord, that I've had this opportunity.
Lord.
Go to the bank with a sizable check. And I want, because I'm a car freak, look here, I need $8,000 to go buy this car. I want to put 2 in the bank. I want 8 out so the IRS can't say shit. That's how you do that when you get a big check.
Right.
So I take the check. I give it to the girl at the window. I see the girl at the window look at the check and the size of it, do what she's supposed to, and walk to the black bank manager. And I see the black bank manager look at the check, look at her, and then look at me, and then say no.
Right.
Oh my God. I am.
You know what? You know what, Jeff? I experienced that on a much lesser level. Not that I haven't had huge checks.
I was about to say, stop it.
But I'm saying on a basic level, that contention amongst each other exists amongst our people. And I'm coming to Bobby next. The way I set it up is I got books to sell. Right? The way I set it up, I got books to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And how I do it is go order my book right now. I'm gonna mail it out. I'm gonna package it up tonight and mail it out to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So my whole regimen is based off of going to the post office to mail this shit out. I go to the post office. Every older sister in there, except one, got the stankiest attitude you could ever imagine.
With you.
Just in general. Like one sister liked me. She was like, oh, thank you, baby. This book is incredible. Do you mind if I pray with you for a second? Because God is blessing you. He got something on you. Yes, pray. I'll take that. Thank you. I love that energy. I appreciate you, sister. Then she'll give me little side tips. The reason why that other dude had 14 extra cents on your package, because he didn't zero out his scale. What you do is you tell him, excuse me, you say it nicely, can you please zero out your scale? Because I know you a small business, and that extra 14 cents on your postage adds up for the amount of packages you bringing in here. You tell him zero out your scale.
Wow.
I told it to one woman. Shit, you shouldn't have never said nothing like that.
Why?
I said, well, Sister Karen, Karen shouldn't have never told you nothing like that.
Wow.
Stank.
Wow.
So I don't say nothing. My natural inclination is to cuss her ass out, because if I throw rocks at Big Mama, I can cuss you out in a heartbeat. My natural inclination is to do that. I don't cuss them out. I just pay the shit, leave. And then my regimen takes me, now I done
Step A.
All right, I done sent off the packages. Now let me go work out. I go work out, finish working out, time to eat. I go right next door from the workout spot to Vaughn's to get one of them foot-long giant sandwiches.
It's so with the protein carbohydrates.
Sister who make the sandwich got a stank-ass attitude. Well, you know, if you add two different types of cheeses, I'm going to have to charge you extra. That's more. Of course, I will pay for it.
I brought more money.
And she says it every time. So finally, I had to tell her boss, she got a stank-ass attitude because she making sandwiches.
Right.
Can we do something with her? Because I ain't going to come back in this motherfucker if she got to have an attitude to make my goddamn sandwich. See, do you understand what?
I
You that frustrated with your life, you can't find joy in making a sandwich?
Am I the motherfucker? Am I the motherfucker that came to you in a dream and said, you know what? All your other plans didn't work out. Make sandwiches.
Right. And so I'm a dickhead, so I get fancy. I'm going to need the olive paste. I want the sriracha. And then I want you to get I just keep adding shit.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like
Just to keep your ass walking back and forth. I keep adding shit.
Do you have any pimento loaf?
All right. I'm going to need you to go back and find the rosemary focaccia. That's the one I want.
Yes.
Bobby?
You know, in the opening segment, they were showing water-related illnesses in Africa and other third-world countries. And what that failed to expose is that in this country, with all of our sophistication, most illnesses are still water-related. Illness related.
What are some of the water-related illnesses, Bobby?
Diabetes.
Yeah.
High blood pressure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything that we put into ourselves that raises our level of acidity. And that's most everything that we consume.
That's right.
Is full of acid. And so it's important that we understand as we look at the subject for today, the water crisis. The body is 80% water. The brain is about 85% water. And we put everything except water into our bodies on a daily basis. And as I travel around the country and the city of Los Angeles, I'm seeing more folks that look like what they drinking and eating. And that is cows and it's really unfortunate, man, because with all of the information that we suppress and then at the same time the information that we put out to people, they don't connect the dots between wellness and what they consume. And then this is a very timely subject because the water crisis is not also a matter of how much water
the scarcity
we have
of it, right.
It's what we do with the water we have.
Geoff, then Veronica, then Kev.
Okay. Sort of on the tangent of what Uncle Bobby just said. Dear niggas who eat pork but won't eat calamari. You know calamari is the cleanest, one of the clean. Squid is very picky about what it eats. Dear niggas who eat pork and think that they're eating soul food instead of soul food eating them, that go stand around and join hands and pray around Big Mama's bed as she is dying from eating like you eat. The next time, you know what I want you to do? The next time that you are saying grace over something God told you not to eat, something you can look online and see the brain worms that pork makes.
The trichinosis worm.
Speed it up. Speed up the process. Save us all some money. Get a can of Campbell's soup. Shake out, or open it up halfway. Shake out all the soup. Rinse it out, and then I want you to take that jagged edge and run it across your throat and kill yourself. I'm sorry. I can't stand niggas sometimes. Damn.
Veronica, then Kev.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, it's not just it's the oceans now that are almost dead. I mean, Fukushima, people were not been paying attention to Fukushima and the impact of that and the impact of all the fish.
And tuna still
destroying. I read an account where a man who used to travel back and forth from California to Japan via boat said that it was so eerie to make that trip because the ocean seemed dead.
Wow.
Like where he would typically make that trip and he would see dolphins and seals and whales and everybody's out there playing in the ocean land, right? And he said that it felt eerily dead in the months after Fukushima, and nobody's even talking about that. And that's contaminating seafood.
And see, and going back to what Bobby said, keeping yourself hydrated, or most illnesses are water related, especially related to melanated people. Going back to one of the shows we did on melanin, the research that they've done with the International Federation of Pigment Cell Societies, they found that for your first of all, they understand that your body, the melanin is a semi and superconductor, but for it to be turned on, the melanin needs to be hydrated. And if it's not hydrated, then it works at a very low state, or a very, very low conductive state. So this is why in the hood you got all these liquor stores and fried chicken places and all these places that turn you acidic, because when you're melanin, or when you're dehydrated, your melanin is pretty much is dead. It's not on. So that's going back to Bobby, that Kangen water or alkaline water is how you increase that alkalinity and hydrate yourself and turn your melanin back on.
But again, all of this information is valuable information, but in order to have a successful government, I mean a really successful government, and when I say success, I mean in terms of capitalism, your fucking citizenry has to be asleep. They have to be medicated.
Absolutely.
But you know, that's interesting that you use that, because it's a breaking point there too. And we're rapidly approaching it, because that's one of the things the 1% has figured out. They took so much money in, they don't have anywhere to put it. So literally, they don't. They took so much of the money.
Like Johnny Tapia and Bad Boys
Right.
too.
I mean, look at some of the stuff that's going on, man. These skyscrapers are not public projects, man, that you see around Los Angeles.
Man. Come on.
For a friend of ours to be making $60 an hour with limited skills, that tells you that it's a lot of money floating around there right now, man.
Right.
A lot of money. And our focus should be to follow the money.
Right.
I mentioned on my Facebook page the other day the prison industrial complex, and how, you know, people got upset when they found out Michael Jordan is a part of that. All right, in terms of
investing
in private prison. Well, we have the same opportunity to reverse some of the money by just demanding our fundamental rights to make the FCC. All of y'all going to D.C. next week, this weekend, stop by the FCC building while you're out there singing whatever is going to go on down there, and tell them, look, cut Big Mama's phone bill back. Because
but you know,
that's really important that we understand how much money is involved in the economy.
But the only thing
how we have access to changing the direction of some of that money.
I agree with what you're saying, but there's a slight I get it, but here's my thing. Not all business should be invested in.
Wow.
I'm not talking about the prisons. I get that. I use that as an example, though, but because somebody doesn't, you can turn it around. You can bring the spotlight to that, and turn that industry around. But as long as black people are in jail, which they are, and some of them gonna be there for quite some time, that phone call should not bankrupt the families that it is currently crippling.
No, and I agree with that. But I just want to make sure that we understand. Michael Jordan needs to be fucking called out.
He does.
Thank you.
For fucking investing in a business that is systematically predatory against your own people.
And it's part of his own circle, because you know some niggas been killed for Jordans, and where did they go?
But
this is Earl Schmerler. Yeah, I own 46 KFCs in DC. I need 715 million chicken wings. Yes, I need you to deliver them this weekend. This weekend, yeah. What? All right, thanks. Bye.
Well, sometimes you can transmute that energy. Like, you can invest in one of those businesses that are doing that, and then take that money and do some good. Like, I told somebody one time about investing in
the art of transmutation.
Yeah. Okay, well, the FRID chips. You know, those radio frequency chips that they're going to be embedding in people. So if you got that knowledge that that's where the system is going, I told somebody to invest in it. It was like 3 cents, then it went up to like $17 per share. So you can take that money, you can do that, take that money and reinvest it and do some good.
You can get something out the river and go do good with it. The point is, niggas ain't doing good with it. And I'm tired of hearing about what Bentleys you buy and what color your diamonds are. Oh, I do a lot of good people don't know about. Well, that's a problem, nigga. That's a problem.
Wow.
In the meantime, get at the FCC, man, and get them to lower them rates immediately, because it's taking too much money out of our
get niggas to learn how to read so they can write letters to Big Mama. Quit talking on the goddamn phone in the hallway. How about that?
All right. Listen, guys. We got to take a quick break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna get into some more Thirsty Planet. We'll be back in 2.2.
Pick out a couple of the easiest ways to purify your water without spending a lot of money or showing up on Uncle Sam's radar. If you do these two things, you can make sure you'll never run out of water, even if the crisis goes longer than any one of the experts predict. Now, the word diversify might seem a little fuzzy or confusing at first, so let me explain. Here are the exact steps you need to take. It's a simple 3-step process. First, you need to do some research on what the primary water threats are. You can break them down into 4 main categories. 1, terrorist attack. 2, government failure. That includes power outage if you're on a well. 3, accelerated global drought, and 4, short-term water crisis. From there, you can break it down further, but this is enough to work with right here. Second, you need to educate yourself on how to combat any one of those threats. Now, this might seem like a lot of work, but there are some pretty decent books out there. If you got enough time, you can even get them for free from your local library. And here's what you need to do third. Pick out a few of the easiest ways to purify any water you can get your hands on, and put them in the back of your mind until the time comes when you need them. You don't have to go nuts and start stockpiling water, or spend a ton of money on expensive systems. You just need to tuck away your favorite methods to purify water. And if you're not sure what methods are out there, let me read you a list of my top 3 favorites. First up is the U.S. Marine Corps style water still. Marines are experts when it comes to surviving tough situations. Second is free home-built water filters, a pretty straightforward way to get clean water. Not flashy, but it works with stuff you've got laying around the house. And third is one you'll hopefully never have to use. It's I2 and purifies radioactive water. No matter which methods you choose, you've got to be able to grab water from anywhere or anything, even your toilet, and turn it into crystal clear drinking water. Either that or give up now, because without water, you won't survive the crisis.
The Macta desalination plant features the world's largest ultra-filtration pre-treatment installation comprising HyFlux's award-winning crystal membranes. Crystal ultra-filtration membranes are able to filter out the smallest impurities, such as micro-suspended solids, microorganisms, bacteria, and even viruses from the salt water. The water leaving crystal membranes is of consistently high quality, which helps to maintain the efficiency and preserve the lifespan of the reverse osmosis membranes. In reverse osmosis, salt water is pumped through semi-permeable membranes to separate water from the dissolved salts. The result is ultra-pure water, which then undergoes post-treatment to be remineralized to meet international drinking water standards. The water is then stored in the product water tanks, ready for distribution to homes and industries.
That is a desalinization plant in Algeria. The largest one in the world. They're pulling water from the Mediterranean, taking the salt out of it, all of the harmful bacteria, remineralizing it. Yeah. Let me just say this. There is a book by another one of I don't mention a lot of his books, but he's one of my favorite scientists, Dr. David Bohm, Bohm. He was a contemporary of Krishnamurti. He was drawn to Krishnamurti because Krishnamurti said something that made sense to the scientists, because when you're dealing with fourth dimensional mathematics, it's hard to bring the mathematical understanding into English, right? This is why scientists started using something called E prime, English without is, because you can't really say what some shit is now at the level of science that they're at. Krishnamurti was able to word something that gave them an understanding, because at the time they were dealing with the electron paradox, which is the shit a wave or is it a particle? So you had, it's both. But you had some scientists that were saying, oh, the shit is a wave. You had other people saying, no, it's a particle. Then some people even went as far as saying, well, fuck it, it's a wavicle. Right? It's hard to put into words at the subatomic level what the fuck is going, especially at quantum level. Yeah. It's hard to put that into words. So they had to create a whole new science. Krishnamurti said the observer is the observed. And the reason why that struck David Bohm is because they recognized every time they stopped to look at an electron, it became a particle.
Yes. And then when
now they understood our perception, this shit is aware of us, of being aware of it. And every time we look at this motherfucker, it recognizes, oh, you want to see me.
Your perception creates reality.
Yeah. You see? So let me finish the thought. In his book, Thought as a System. Go get the book. The shit is expensive than a motherfucker. Go get it. Thought as a System, that's one of them. Then the other one is Wholeness in the Implicate Order. In both books, he talks about human fragmentation, the fragmentation of thought. It's difficult to have thought flowing as a contextual stream, right? Okay. So hold on. Let me get this thought out, and then I'm gonna come to you, Geoff.
Yes.
This is why this is important. In the book Thought as a System, he breaks down. It's a great idea to say, hey, let's create the refrigerator. That's a great idea. Especially if before the refrigerator, you got to kill, eat that meat, or preserve it quickly. Right? Salt it, do something, because that shit gonna go bad. So it's a great idea to create the refrigerator, but because humans think fragmentally, we're not thinking, okay, I create the refrigerator, then I create Freon, then Freon releases CO2s, which fucks up the ozone layer. So we don't think in stereo, we think in mono. One dimension, linear, straightforward. So apply that same concept to these people pulling water out of the goddamn Mediterranean. If every country on planet Earth started desalinizing the oceans, you're going to see motherfucking sharks with tans.
Yep.
They just going to be sitting out there burnt up. Whales and shit just going to be like, what the fuck?
Yes.
We'll drink the whole fucking planet up.
The whole fucking thing.
Because we're a very linear people. And then when you look at that little piece that I showed you on the Algerian thing, that water plant, that whole thing is there to sustain a growing population. Go back to the Matrix when the motherfucking, when Agent, what's his name? The agent was talking Agent Smith was talking to Morpheus. He said, you motherfuckers are a virus.
Yes.
You just keep spreading and consuming and spreading. You don't even create a boundary or a balance. Speak on it, Geoff. You have something to say?
Spreading. Mr. Anderson. Zoe Williams is my friend. I don't have very many of those because I'm an asshole. Zoe Williams is active in the community, and he is a responsible father. The only conclusion one can come to with how he could be this active and this responsible a father and have read this many books is that this motherfucker has been to jail.
I knew you was going to say that shit. Would you stop saying that
No
shit?
one else has that much time. Zoe Williams reads a lot of fucking books. I don't even know how you read all of this shit.
Man, you gotta read.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
That
Motherfucker there?
I read like that.
Shit. That dude right there? Me and this dude have been swapping books for over 20-some years. This dude, you ain't even seen this motherfucker's library.
Okay.
That dude right there? That's another one. He ain't been in jail either.
I don't know how you niggas find the time. I can't find the goddamn time. I'll be trying to.
Veronica, can I get your summation, baby?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think that it sort of speaks a little bit to what Geoff is just saying, which is that if we as individuals don't get a vision in the black community for something bigger than ourselves, we are doomed.
Absolutely.
We cannot just run around in survival mode here pretending like everything is going to be handed to us because, as we can see from today's show, this is a brutal fight for resources.
Yes.
And we're out-moneyed, out-resourced, outgunned,
out-coached.
So if we don't get a vision for something bigger than ourselves, which also means being stewards of our community. In other words, taking responsibility for organizing and mobilizing in our community. Where in your community is there like a disaster preparedness, whatever, right? Does that even exist? Because it takes a certain level of organization. So to get that, you've got to be thinking about something more than your immediate circumstances.
Wow. Hey, Bobby, your final wrap-up?
Water matters as much as any substance on the planet Earth, and I think we have to reconstitute our understanding of the purpose of water and how to best utilize it, not only for environmental purposes, our own individual purposes, but for entrepreneurial and economic purposes as well.
Wow. Geoff, your final wrap?
Buy bullets and books and stop buying Jordans. stop buying Jordans altogether. Seriously, make that man accountable. Demand a statement from his people. Demand a statement. Just the shit is coming, and a bunch of y'all gonna die.
Damn, Kev.
People, if you have a job or career, melanated people, you need to get together, figure out how to acquire property. Go on LegalZoom, get you a little corporation, get you a little trust or whatever you need to do, and start acquiring property. You don't need to acquire major properties, small little properties, fix that shit up, flip it, and then just keep the money and keep investing. You need to do this because land, as we've been saying the whole time, is the resource. If nothing, you don't have anything if you don't have the land. And so I go back to what Veronica was saying. You have to organize. You have to get together and do this type of stuff, because otherwise, the knowledge that we don't have is going to kill us.
Wow. Fuck. Damn, Kev. All right, shit. Let's take a break and come back with my final thought. The Thunderer, Thor, Negro Thor. So we're back. Today's topic, man, it was another heater. Let me just get right to it. Group economics is absolutely paramount for natural disaster preparedness. If we don't have group economics, we don't have, first, let me just understand. Money is KY jelly for society. It lubricates the smooth movement through a society. Money is the representative of power. Money's not power. It is power's emissary. Money shows up and says, hey, I'm here to represent the resources they got. I'm just a certificate of the resources they got. Niggas need to understand the difference between the two. Right? I try to get people to understand that, but it's always a battle. The world is becoming, and I want brothers and sisters to understand this, the world is becoming a non-cleansing, shitty aquarium, right, that we live in. And until we come together and at least carve out some kind of reality for ourselves and create standards for how we're going to live, we're subject to whatever the fuck befalls us. I always say this about African-American people, man. African Americans are a quasi-affluent third country living within America. That's what we are. We are a quasi-affluent third world country living in America. We were proven to be a third world country when a disaster hit New Orleans. Nigga, fuck you. I'll give you a debit card after this shit dry out a little bit with a couple $1,000s on it. Figure your shit out from there. How many people still in trouble right now today because of Katrina? 10 years ago. 10 fucking years. Okay. Yeah. Niggas, recycle money, niggas. Recycle the dollar, nigga. Recycle it. I keep telling you, stop chasing the dollar like, let me get it right. Chase the dollar, but understand what you're chasing. Right? You're chasing the representative of power. It's only power when it's collective. The dollar is like a fist. Yes. Right? It's like a fist. White people didn't figure this out. It's on autopilot. They ain't even got to think about it. The system is set up for them to win. Right? You put a white boy amongst niggas who rap, he gonna be good. He gonna learn how to do it because you taught him. Just like Apollo Creed taught Rocky. Right. Oh my God. You understand what I'm saying? You put him amongst us, he gonna learn how to do it. But now that you're amongst them, you gotta learn how to do it and then be able to bring it back to your community. Problem with niggas is you're defined by his level of success, And then you come back and financially shame your own people because they ain't where you at. Let me give you an example of that. There's a black church in Inglewood. Well, Omer was Faithful Central. They used to own the Forum. Bishop Omer used to own the Forum where the Lakers won titles. Used to own the Forum. Oh, there's too much. We can't handle the business. That's because your ass was trying to do church in the motherfucker. On Sunday, you trying to do church at the Forum. And then the Christian linear thought process wouldn't allow them, now tell me this ain't a radical idea, wouldn't allow them to let certain acts come in and perform. Oh, that's not Christian-like. And, you know, if Thursday Nicki Minaj and Britney Spears were here, how can we come into the house of the Lord and praise? First off, you closed-minded, weak, simpleton motherfuckers, imagine this. Because guess who owns the Forum now? Dolan, the dude who owns Madison Square Gardens and the Knicks. He owns the goddamn Forum. Now he done renovated it, painted it, flied it out, and there's concerts in there back to back to back to back. Imagine this. Say the black dude, the dude who owned Bishop Omer, who owned the fucking Forum, kept it. And managed it in the same way that Dolan did. Maybe you don't know the game, but you could have hired somebody and gave them 15% of it to manage it. Could you have done away with tithes? Woo! Now you still dependent on fleecing your people when you had a chip
in the game.
You had a chip in the game, the Great Western Forum.
A big chip.
You had a chip in the game. Couldn't handle it. And am I saying something different? Joel Osteen got the same chip, the same building that the Rockets used to play in. Joel Osteen has it. And it was too much for you to manage. Black people so good at giving away chips, resources. This shit is just so. Listen, when it comes to natural survival, I'm so fucking flabbergasted. Please, do me a favor. Go buy bug out bags. You can go on Amazon.com, at the very least, get bug out bags for your family, which is natural disaster bags. You look up bug out, they got everything in it. Medical supplies, all kind of shit. You're going to need you're going to need at least 72 hours of provisions. But I always say 96 or more. I say buy multiple bags. They cost about $100. If it's a family of 4, it's a pair of Jordans. If it's a family of 4, get 4 of them. Buy 4 of them. Buy 6 of them. Just so you can have those kind of materials on hand.
Shit, this was $35.
But I'm just saying, you want to be prepared? This shit was just disappointing. Listen, one final thought. I believe the new collective black leadership should have a natural disaster contingency plan, or they can't be considered leaders. I don't want to hear about Allah. I don't want to hear about Jehovah, Yahweh. I don't want to hear about that no more. I don't want to hear about Amun Ra Nim. I don't. I don't want to hear about Quetzalcoatl. I don't want to hear about Ahura Mazda. I don't want to hear about Brahma. I don't want to hear it. All them cultures is our culture. Every last fucking one of them, we seeded it. You got niggas that just settled in Egypt. Nigga, we're all of it. We're all of it. Timbuktu, everything, Moors, we're all of it, goddammit. Asia, Nagas, it's all ours. But what the fuck does it mean today when we're disorganized and we're self-hating, lying, backbiting, stabbing, killing each other ass niggas? That's my final thought. Shit. That's my final thought, goddammit. With that said, hey man, I love y'all. Continue to support the work that everybody here is doing. Bobby's got work. Kevin's got work. Geoff, where are you going to be performing next? Do you know?
I am going to be at the Ha Ha Cafe this week, Tuesday night, tomorrow night.
What time?
8:30.
Where's it at?
It's on Lancashire Boulevard in North Hollywood, 45. Yes.
8:30.
There it is. Hey, again, only 225 copies left. If you give a fuck about this show, if you give a fuck about what we do, mass movement right now. Go clear it out. 225 copies remain. I will mail them all out tomorrow if you order them today. Let's get it done. IamZoeWilliams.com. Get at me right now. That's what we do. Bobby?
At Glanton-Smith on Twitter. And please check out on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow night, Julius the Seth Jackson, my man.
YouTube channel, Real Nagas. That's ReelNagas, the video classroom. Also the home system, Booty Boxing, udemy.com/bootyboxing. And the free code is ZoWhatShow.
That's what it is. Veronica?
Yes, VeronicaConway.com, BlackMastery.com. We have another business boot camp coming up in about 10 days. So if you want to make some serious money in your business, then hit me up at VeronicaConway.com, and we'll talk about it.
That's what's up. Hey, so what? We out. I'll be back next week with another heater. It's what we do. Deuces.
Peace.